All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're cutting through all the noise. We're going to forget the endless roadmaps and the confusing buzzwords. Instead, we're going to build a super practical, no-fluff, 30-day plan to get you hired as a data engineer. This is all about focus and, more importantly, action.
Okay, I have to start right here because I know I'm not the only one feeling this way. I see the job postings, I hear data engineer thrown around everywhere, but it all just feels so overwhelming. There are a million different tools, a million concepts. So for real, what does a data engineer actually do all day?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But you know what? The answer is a lot simpler than you'd think. We're basically modern data plumbers. It's not glamorous, and a lot of our work is invisible, but without it, nothing flows. We're the ones building and managing the hidden infrastructure that makes everything from your Netflix queue to your online bank account even possible.
Think about it like a city's water system, right? A city needs this whole complex network of pipes to collect water, clean it, and then get it to every single house so people can actually use it. Well, we do the exact same thing, but for data. We build the pipes, the data pipelines, that collect all this raw data, clean it up, and then transport it to the data scientists and analysts who can turn it into something useful.
So, to really get a handle on what those pipes do, you got to understand a key secret. We work in two totally different worlds of data, and each one is built to solve a completely different kind of problem.
Okay, let's break this down. On one side, you've got OLTP, which is just a fancy way of saying online transaction processing. This is the right now system. It's the ATM spitting out your cash, or Amazon confirming your order. It needs to be fast, simple, and handle millions of tiny little transactions. Then you have the other side, OLAP, or online analytical processing. This is the big picture system. It doesn't care about your single purchase. It's the bank's headquarters looking at years of data to spot massive trends.
And what's so cool about looking at it this way is how clear the difference is. The OLAP systems, like a data warehouse, are built for really complex questions on huge amounts of old data. I mean, we're talking terabytes, even petabytes. The queries are heavy. But the OLTP systems, they use current, what's happening now data, and they're built to be lightning fast for simple reads and writes. The main takeaway is this: they are designed for completely opposite jobs.
Okay, that clicks. So when Spotify makes my Discover Weekly playlist, that's an OLAP system digging through all my listening history. But when I just hit like on a new song, that's an OLTP system handling that one single immediate action. Got it.
Exactly. You got it. So now let's talk about the tools you need to build all this stuff. And look, if you're serious about this 30-day timeline, you have to ignore all the noise and focus on just two things: Python and SQL. These are 100% non-negotiable.
I really can't stress this enough. SQL is the language of data, period. It's how you talk to databases, it's how you ask questions, get data, mix it together. You will use it every single day. There's just no getting around it.
And I'm not just talking about basic select star from stuff. To really be useful, you have to master joins. That's how you connect the dots, how you combine data from your users table with data from your events table to figure out what people are actually doing. This is a core, high-impact skill that interviewers are absolutely going to grill you on.
And then there's Python. For us, for data engineers, Python is the ultimate glue. It's the code that sticks all the different pieces of the puzzle together. You're not trying to build some complex website. You're writing scripts to automate things, like pulling data from an API, reading a CSV file, or just moving files around. Practical, hands-on scripting is the name of the game.
Okay, you keep saying data pipelines. What is that exactly? Is it just a big Python script? What does that mean?
Great question. So a data pipeline is really a process, and the classic one is called ETL. It just stands for extract, transform, and load. The best way to think of it is like you're following a recipe. First, you extract. You gather all your ingredients from different places, like your app's database or some random API. Next, you transform. This is where you chop the veggies, mix things up. You're cleaning the data, changing formats, combining it. And finally, you load. You serve the dish. You put that clean, ready-to-use data into its final home, like a data warehouse where the analysts can finally work with it.
And this visual really nails where Python fits into the whole thing. That Python script we talked about, that's the glue that automates this whole ETL recipe. It's the code that pulls from the source, does the transformations, and then shoves the final result into its destination. It's the engine that keeps the whole pipeline chugging along.
Okay, so we know what we do, the systems we use, and the core tools. Now for the most important part, the 30-day plan.
The absolute key here is to think like you're in a sprint. We are going for depth over breadth. You simply cannot learn everything, but you can learn the right things to get yourself job ready fast.
Okay, this is probably the most important question for me right now. There's just so much stuff out there. I really need to know what I can just put on the back burner for now so I don't get completely bogged down. Oh, I'm so glad you asked. This list right here is designed to save you months of wasted time. Seriously. For this 30-day sprint, you can, and you should, ignore hardcore competitive programming. We need practical problem solvers, not algorithm wizards. You don't need to dive deep into object-oriented theory in Python. Please, don't try to master every single service on AWS, GCP, and Azure. And you absolutely do not need to become an expert on how Spark works under the hood.
So this is the crucial part. This is where you put all your energy. You master SQL, especially joins. You get really good at practical Python for handling data, reading files, calling APIs. For data structures, just focus on arrays and hashing. That's it. And finally, get a rock-solid understanding of what ETL is all about. These are the skills that will come up in interviews and that you'll use from day one on the job.
Let me just say that one more time. If you are really aiming to get hired in 30 days, this is what you focus on. This is the 80-20 rule in action. These skills give you the most bang for your buck and will get your foot in the door.
Okay, that's enough theory. A plan doesn't mean anything if you don't act on it. So let's talk about what you're actually going to do, starting today, to make this real.
I'm giving you a mission for this week, not next month, not when you feel like it. This week. These are small, bite-sized goals that will start building a real foundation.
Here it is, nice and simple. First, write one Python script that just reads data from a CSV file. That's it. Second, find a sample database online and practice 5 different kinds of SQL joins. And finally, go to LeetCode and solve 10 easy problems in the array category. A great place to start is the classic to-sum problem. This builds muscle memory in exactly the areas that matter most.
So, there you have it. You have the map. We've cut through the noise and given you the exact things to focus on and, just as importantly, what to ignore. You have your mission for week 1. So really, the only question left is, are you ready to start building?